Hockey friends and families, we are heading towards the end of the season, which means a lot. The playoffs, the postseason, and of course, your favorite evals and tryouts. And we always like to let you know that our title sponsor, NHL Sense Arena, has some great solutions for you to help. It helps to train hockey IQ. It's not just another training tool, right? It's not just something you're going to leave in the basement. The kids love to use it. My kids love to use it. My son, who is a goaltender, uses this to get ready to play in his games. And he has told me that this has helped him dramatically, not just prepare for the game, but to see the puck better, to feel better on the ice. You know, whether it's that or Hockey IQ via their Dangle Pro system, which we've done a lot of videos about, or their Game Flow system for goaltenders, it's really become part of both of my kids' routine to get ready to play. They're more confident, they feel more prepared, and they're just less overwhelmed when the game speeds up, which is something really cool. So we know you hear about this before every episode. If you're still on the fence, just note that now is the lowest price of the year that they do. It's $299 for an annual plan. That's $25 a month for all their skater and goaltender drills. No matter what your kid plays, there's something in this system for them, and they're always adding new stuff. I know they have something coming out in March, which is really exciting. Check it out. Again, go to nhl.sensearena.com/OKPH. Again, nhl.sensearena.com/OKPH, and use the code OKPH for an extra $25 off that already discounted price. NHL Sense Arena, always looking out for you, looking out for us. Take a minute, check it out. It'll be worth your time. And then come back here and enjoy this episode of Our Kids Play Hockey. Hello, hockey friends and families around the world, and welcome back to a dual episode of Our Kids Play Hockey and Our Girls Play Hockey. Our co-host and guest today is Hayley Scamurra. Hayley, you've been off for a couple weeks. Anything happen exciting while you were gone? Anything major?
No, nothing too crazy.
Oh, see, now if you're listening to the show, I'm looking at a gold medal. I'm looking at a USA Hockey gold medal. For those of you who can't see us, I'm wearing a USA Hockey jersey, blue like the gold medal, and Hayley is not shy at all about that, which I love, by the way. Joining me, as always, is Mike Benelli and Christy Casciano Burns. Hayley, I'm not going to lie to you. We're all squeamish with joy today to have you on to talk about a lifetime accomplishment. I mean, there's no words I could put together here to even begin to talk about what you and Team USA have just accomplished, winning a gold medal. I know we've been talking about it for months leading up to this, but it's happened. I mean, I think the first thing from all of us is just thank you. Wow.
Thank you. Congratulations. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations.
What does it feel like to be a gold medalist? Tell us, please. Does it ever sink in? You gotta still be floating from all of it.
I'm still, it's still processing, but like honestly, the more we've been back and like celebrating with people and like seeing all the support and love online, it's kind of like cemented more and more as time has passed. I was joking with the girls when we were on the ice. I'm like, I need to see the medal. Like, it's not real yet. Like, put the medal on me. Let me see this thing. So yeah, I think it's just like been a gradual process. It keeps kind of getting more and more cemented in my brain, but it's pretty incredible.
Well, I will say this, Hayley. We were all watching with you. It was so cool for us to see you looking for the medal. Actually, we were watching you. We were joking that there's Hayley directing traffic after the game was over, telling people what to do. Maybe not what to do, but where to go. But look, for the audience listening, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to gush over Hayley. We're going to go through the whole tournament. We're going to talk about winning this gold medal. We're here to celebrate the women's team. We are going to do more episodes once Hayley gets a rest. We'll do a Q&A with the kids. We'll dive way more into this. But today is about Hayley and Team USA and what they've accomplished. And just to give everybody the timeline and how gracious Hayley is, right? Because you're always gracious with your time. Won the gold medal. Basically got through the closing ceremony, flew back here, had a game against the Siren victory. Congratulations by the way.
Thank you.
Is between games right now, has a game tomorrow. No time to rest for you. And the fact that you're giving us some time, because I know for a fact that a lot of people are interviewing you right now. We saw you with Bruce Boudreau. I mean, you're just everywhere right now. But this is our time with you. So I'm just claiming that, putting the flag in the sand. But Hayley, let's just start. Let's walk through the tournament, okay? And live it with our listeners right now. Opening night, I'm going to go through it right now just so everybody has a quick recap. Opening night, 5-1 win over Czechia. Then 5-0 over Finland, 5-0 over Sweden, Switzerland. I'm too excited. 5-0 over Canada in the prelims, 6-0 over
Mhm.
Italy in the quarterfinal, 5-0 over Sweden in the semifinal, 2-1 overtime game-winning championship against Canada in the final. 7 games, 7 wins, complete dominance. I mean, when you look back at that stretch, and this is the most dominant team in Olympic history, with the strongest competition in the history of the women's game in the Olympics.
Mhm.
When you look back, what is different about this team?
I like that you pointed that out in terms of, like, the teams are still competitive, like, it's not like the other teams weren't good, like,
No.
everyone was a great team, but, like, we were just so on it, like, everyone from top to bottom, everyone played their best game throughout the entire tournament, we all knew our role, we all knew what needed to be done in order for us to achieve getting that gold medal, and I think, it just felt, like, so destined, like, the whole time, it just felt like it was meant the tournament was meant for us, it just felt uh, yeah, we were just so confident the whole time, and it was really cool to have it come to fruition, obviously, at the end.
No, no, I was just gonna say, listen, it was cool for me because like I'm in the hockey world all the time, so I'm always doing something. I'm at the gym with the hockey kids. I'm with the girls team at practice. I'm with the boys, team doing training, and then here you are on the TV, right? And I think is it the first game that you scored 2 goals, or
Yeah,
was it?
yeah.
So it was not, and then so and it was funny because I was just using you as a great example of a show we did a long time ago when what or not not that long ago, but just one of our listeners talking about like asking you about your points. You're like, I'm not a point person, and
Yeah.
like that's not something I focus on. And then I'm laughing. I'm like, oh my god, this girl's gonna get a hat trick here today in the first game of the Olympics. But so it was really for me that was really cool because I think it really just showed in a lot of ways kind of the perseverance of getting through all this great stuff that you've been doing to make the team and
Mhm,
go through all the process of being a great teammate. And here you are contributing in the world stage, and all of a sudden playing a role that you normally wouldn't have been given
mhm,
or expected to do. Right. So
mhm.
it must have been such a great lift. And then I'll give a shout out to Frankel, who is our hometown Westchester, New York girl, who I mean, unbelievably is just putting up zeros, for the whole tournament. So I think it was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was definitely nice to contribute. I was it was kind of funny it happened again because it happened in Czech at Worlds the year before where I scored 2 in the opener of the tournament. I'm like, "I guess this is what I do now." But,
Goal
um,
score. Love it.
like I was telling the girls, it's just so easy playing on that team to be able to contribute in that way. I mean, I just had great setups from my teammates and just everyone just plays so predictable for one another. It's just it makes it the game so much easier. Like it kind of like is slower almost in a way. So yeah.
Well, I just want to preface this too, Haley, because again, you were so humble. You had mentioned prior to the tournament you'd probably be the 13th forward, and that your ice time would be
Mhm.
very limited. You had limited ice time in that
Mhm.
game. What was so cool for us is the broadcast. I don't know if you've even had a chance to even watch any of these games. The broadcasters were
Mhm.
talking about you, who you are, what you stand for. I mean,
Mhm.
again, we'll get into this show, but like the name Scamorra like not your father obviously held it too, but like people
Yeah.
know you. I mean, it was so cool, like that your name was up over and over again. They mentioned you every broadcast, and the reason I'm bringing that up is as your friend, as your co-host, it's so deserving, right? Just because of who you are and what you've done in the game thus far. But they said it after 13th forward, she's making the most of those minutes. I'll never forget saying that. And then obviously you scored again. We'll get into this later
Yeah.
against Sweden, but um, just an amazing performance by the team, and you could feel it. Just kind of going back to the original question here. We talk about teams of destiny, teams of confidence.
Mhm.
Um, you're right. It was obvious. And again, look, I've been watching women's hockey in the Olympics since 1998, since the inception. I'm going to say it again. This is the most dominant performance I've ever seen. I think everyone
Mhm.
knew, everyone was expecting the gold medal game to be the gold medal game. Like nobody
Mhm.
I know was thinking Canada's going to lay down. All right,
Mhm.
but everything prior to that, I mean, my goodness, it was destiny for you guys to get to
Mhm.
where you got to. Sorry, I'll gush all day. Christy, you're up. I'm gonna have to control
Well,
myself today. I'm
yeah,
already tough.
I kind of sort of I want to feel what she was feeling during that gold medal game. So let's say Canada's firing at all cylinders, right? You're
Mhm.
in the locker room. before that overtime.
Yeah.
What was that like? How did you settle your nerves? Was there a big speech, a motivational speech before you went out there? I'd love to hear the insight on what that locker room was like before that gold medal win.
I mean, we were just on a high for sure because Hill had literally tied it up 2 minutes before getting into the locker room. And then also I think we just kinda all knew. I felt we knew that we were gonna win the game. It was just a matter of like when and who. And um so overall the vibe was very light. Like we were all just chatting kind of like normal, like you would between any period. And obviously we're like, we got this, like let's go. Everyone just keep doing what you're doing and keep the foot on the gas. And then obviously like coach comes in, game plan, different strategies we can maybe use to like gain advantages with 3-on-3 overtime. But yeah, overall, we were really confident going into that overtime.
Wow. And then when you saw that goal, the golden goal, what were you thinking? What were you feeling? How did you react? Did you look up at the
She
stands,
stepped
and
over
your
Haley
dad and
stepped
your
over
parents?
the bench. I mean, Haley, I don't know if you see, like you
Yeah.
didn't jump, you
I,
kind of like
I don't even
walked
know.
up.
I flew. I don't know. I was so excited. I don't even
Yeah.
know if I processed the play that had occurred. I just was freaking out and just screaming and just hugging everyone I could see. And like, girls are crying, girls are just ecstatic. It was super emotional. It was really, really cool. And like I said earlier, I was like, I need to see, like, this isn't real. We just won a gold medal at the Olympics. We're at the Olympics. Like, where is this gold medal? Let me see it. It felt like it took years to get the
It
gold
did.
medal when we were on the ice. It
Took a
felt
minute.
so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a second. But yeah, it was worth it, obviously.
I love that. I love that. We can only imagine.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and it's funny, Haley, about that last play. I remember Sam prior to the overtime. This is true in most big hockey games, right? It's like someone's going to have to take a massive risk to win this game because everybody is so
Hmm.
careful. And boy, I mean, that play was insanity. I mean, talk about
Our
taking
D
risks.
at the far blue line.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the D won the tournament in that situation, and just amazing play there.
Well, that's it. It just helped prove that there's all positionless hockey today,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And at some point, and not going to be today, but we are going to talk about the controversy of 3-on-3 hockey in the Olympics for
No,
overtime. But I
we'll
think,
let Canada discuss that. The
yeah.
Canada can discuss
Yeah.
that. We're a gold medalist, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, because we'll take advantage of the fact that you guys, had the right people on the ice at the right time
Hmm.
and made that happen. But I think, it was funny because it's just like it's actually it could go both ways, right? That elation of scoring so late in
Hmm.
the game. And then almost you like, oh, no ice cut, no, oh, the ice
Yeah.
cut. Sometimes like for a coach, I'm like, oh God, like we don't want the because all of a sudden that a lot of ways kills momentum sometimes. But
Hmm.
you guys, you showed no momentum,
Yeah.
pause at all. So I think that was a really benefit for and maybe it was just the maturity of the team that you were able to come in, let the ice cut happen, get back out there, and then elevate your game to basically the same level as you left it. That's
Yeah.
so hard to do for any level, but in that kind of a setting, it must have
Hmm.
been a really mental, gymnastics a little bit just to be able to do that as an athlete.
Mm.
Yeah, I want to say this too, and then I know Christy's got a question about your captain Hillary Knight, but I love that you
Hmm.
talked about the locker room, between the third and the overtime, just the confidence. And I think for the listeners, especially the
Hmm.
parents, and if there's kids listening, I think sometimes we put negative pressure on ourselves in those situations of, oh, I have to win. This has to happen. Oh my God, what if we lose? What if we lose the goal?
Hmm.
And it wasn't any of that. It was calm, collected
Hmm.
team of we're built for this moment. And, Haley,
Hmm.
I'd love for you to expunge on that even more because that's not something that just kind of organically happens. That's
Mhm.
through the tournament, through the years together, and through the experience, right? Of learning how to be calm in those moments. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think, it definitely having all the experiences from like world championships and
Mhm.
rivalry series and things like that, I think you kind of learn how to handle those moments. And I think that's why there was always like such an emphasis on like veteran, like experience
Yeah.
and having the youth. And I always felt like I didn't really like that conversation because I'm like, I think we have a perfect mix of both. Like just because we have young kids doesn't mean we don't have experience on our team. We have
Mm.
Hillary Knight, Lee Steckline, Megan Keller, like all these people who have the experience who can help the younger kids through those moments because it is It is bigger. It feels bigger. It gets, it gets crazy out there.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden the emotions kind of overtake you at times. And I think the leadership really did such a great job of just kind of keeping everyone like calm, cool, and collected. Like literally the whole third period before we even tied it up, everyone's like, "We're good. We've got this. Like just keep going, keep going. It's happening. It's coming." And you know, our leadership leads the way in both of the goals. So it was just yeah, perfect ending.
Haley, let's take a deeper dive into that leadership,
Hmm.
specifically Hillary Knight. 5 Olympics, you're captain, 33 career Olympic points, a U.S. record. So tell us about her leadership. What
Hmm.
makes it different? What makes it so dynamic? What makes it work?
I mean, I think it's a lot of it's like her passion for the game, her passion for winning. She's a very competitive person. I think she kind of drags everyone into the fight to make sure like we're all fired up. There was points in the tournament, maybe we like let our foot off the gas for a second, or maybe we weren't playing as physical as we could. Like she was holding people accountable and making sure like we were still remembering what our end goal is and what we needed to do to get to that point. Because she's not like super vocal all the time, but she speaks when it needs to be spoken. And I think uh, people make sure they listen when she's talking. So, yeah. And I think the way she plays too and the way she carries herself, she's just such a leader in every aspect of on ice, off ice. And, I think all the girls, we'd follow her anywhere.
What's amazing about her too, not only the game tying goal, which is like, of course,
Hmm.
Hillary Knight was in front of the net in the
Yeah.
dirty area with a really pro level tip,
Uh,
by the way.
yes.
Like everyone was just kind of saying, "Oh, she was in." No, that was a pro
Mm-mm.
level deflection. Like
Yes.
you can tell if you watch it, especially in slow motion, she knew
Hmm.
exactly what she was doing. But of course, that was her.
Yep.
I think my
Yep.
favorite moment with her though was they were interviewing after everything, after the gold medals were given out,
Hmm.
and this says everything about her. Someone says, "You are now the U.S. point leader," and she had no
Yeah.
idea. She had no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, and she actually opened her eyes really big. Haley's like, I am. Oh my god,
Yeah.
we want to go.
Ah,
So that was a pretty cool
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, it was very timely. I was just playing in a game recently up at Choate Prep School, and I see her banner up there. A lot of banners up there, but
Hmm.
her banner in particular. And I was sending it to the group, saying I was laughing like they're gonna really have to add another layer to the banner here at the bottom. And it really just a great storied career, and I think
Hmm.
such a great person to have in the locker room. It's funny. I was texting a buddy of mine watching the game, like. And just as I'm texting, like, I don't know, maybe she's getting, she's getting old here to be out there all these Olympics and all that. Boom, she tips
Yeah.
it in. She's winning the game. She's the most energized person on the ice. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a really unbelievable thing to go to a whole game like that, and for
Hmm.
her to have that composure as your leader, to be and it's like to Lee's point, it's like pretty much scripted, right? You're like,
Yeah.
come on, it can't be. There's no way it could be her scoring this goal. So I think
Yep.
it's
That's unbelievable.
but I think it was a really cool, great moment for her, USA Hockey, and certainly, the group that put this team together.
Hmm.
The group that said, "Hey, this is the team we want," and we've talked about this a million times on our show.
Hmm.
That who knows, and you could debate on whether it was the best individual players ever assembled, but
Hmm.
it was the best team assembled.
Easily.
Absolutely.
definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mike brought it up. Let's
They
give
definitely
this.
need a bigger banner there.
Yeah, yeah. We're
Yeah.
gonna need a bigger banner. Uh, Haley, let's talk about your coaching staff because they totally deserve some recognition here, right?
Hmm.
I'm going to read them all. All right, head coach John Robleski, your assistant coaches Sherry Dickerman, Brent Hill, Josh Skiba, goaltending coach Ali Altman, obviously Katie Million, who's been on our show before, the GM,
Hmm.
player development coach Ellen Hughes, name that's well known now, strength and conditioning coach
Hmm.
Cal Dietz, the team physician Dr. Ali Howe, operations manager Doug Ferry. Right, I'm putting all
Hmm.
the names like the credits of a movie right here.
Hmm.
Let's focus on them for a little bit, right? Because we always joke, right? The players win the games and the coaches lose the
Hmm.
games. There's no losses here. So what did coach and the staff do culturally to prepare this group? And let's also talk about what great coaches do in Olympic environments that youth
Hmm.
coaches can apply tomorrow at
Hmm.
practice. Because let's be honest, there is no higher level in
Yeah.
the game than this, right? So tell me
Hmm.
about your coaches, how they prepared you, and let's talk some wisdom about Olympic coaching and how it can affect youth hockey.
Yeah. I would say for the coaches, they just kind of kept the confidence the whole time. Throughout the whole tournament, he's like, there might be bumps in the road, there might be things that don't go our way necessarily, but like we're gonna make it through them, and we are winning. Like we're going all the way. Like we've got this. And I think that was huge. There was a lot of moments where maybe like moment got big for us, and he just kind of reminded us. Even in the gold medal game, he was reminding us after the first period. He's like, "All right, we got away from our game a little bit there. Like let's get back to what we've been doing the whole tournament. You guys are good. You're more skilled, you're faster, you're stronger, like you've got this." So I think that was a huge message that we kind of kept throughout the whole tournament and that we were reminded of. And then we always did video, and even after like our dominant wins, like there was always things to continue working on and to continue focusing on. And he's like, "I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't doing this." And we're like, "We're aware, like it's okay," and he's so funny about that. But yeah, it was just focusing on like little things that we could do to like upgrade a play is what we would say a lot of the
I love
time.
that.
Like, "Hey, this was still good, but we can upgrade it in this way," and things like that. So I think those little fixes were huge. And then in terms of staff, I'm going to give a few more shout outs. There's Katie Homan, our AT, who does literally everything for us. She will work at all hours of the night, the morning, whatever we need. And then Jennifer Chi, our massage therapist, has been with us for years as well, and she's incredible. And so, like, our med staff is just above and beyond. They will do anything for their players, and making sure we're always feeling our best and feeling as healthy as possible. And, people were fighting through stuff, obviously. And they do such a good job of like advocating for their players and making sure we're doing what we want and what's best for us as well. So just wanted to
No, please
throw
shout them
those
out.
names in too.
Like,
Yeah.
look, this is a special show, right? You've been on the show
Hmm.
for a long time now.
Hmm.
We're all about showing that this is more than just what's going on the ice, right? It takes a
Hmm.
whole team, it takes a village, right? And when you have a
Hmm.
support group like that, that's pretty amazing. And I have to ask this because again, you're living it. I'm not sure you're seeing it.
Hmm.
Have you all seen your coach's reaction to the game ending? Because
Hmm.
that was one of the most raw and beautiful moments I think I've ever seen as a coach. And I totally,
Yeah.
on some level, get it because it's like suddenly
Yeah.
all of the pressure is gone. And I'm sure he was feeling it in an overtime game
Yeah.
against Canada. But I think we learned a lot about who he was in that moment as well, right?
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I think yeah, you could just see like the total emotional release.
Right.
Like I think because he was also holding it for us as well with the confidence and the calmness at times. And to then have it come to fruition, I think was just incredible. And to see that he cared that
Yes.
much meant a lot to me. And I know meant a lot to my teammates as well. And yeah, it was pretty emotional to see that reaction afterwards because no, we had no idea.
Right.
Obviously, we're jumping on the ice,
Right.
so we had no clue. But like, we obviously got to like give hugs like after the big celebration and stuff. So he had been more composed at that point, relatively. But yeah, I mean, I think we always knew that he cared, but then to see it in that moment was really
So
special.
here's my last question on that front, right? So,
Hmm.
when we think of USA Hockey, we think of Herb Brooks, we think about a lot of amazing
Hmm.
coaches, right? And we talk a lot on the
Hmm.
show, Haley and Mike and Christy, about kind of modern coaching being a little more
Hmm.
empathetic in nature and a little more, it's not so much player first, but just understanding that these are people, we're not cattle, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure he brought that style of coaching, right? But
Yeah.
I'd be remiss if we didn't explain this for the audience. Of again, we're talking Olympic level gold medal coaching, right?
Hmm.
How does he interact with you as people, and how can we look at that today as coaches? And I'm kind of talking about the coach who thinks like, hey, like it's tough love. We got to go
Hmm.
hard. And again, there's part of that. Obviously, you got to challenge your
Yeah.
players, but you see where I'm going with this? Like how did he
Yeah.
bring that to the table?
I would
Challenge, but
say
not demoralize them, right?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I would say he did a good job of like he coached different people differently and like based on their roles and stuff. I think he was definitely harder sometimes on like, the leadership and people like that, like in terms of like their gameplay, like things if they were like maybe lacking in the D zone or things like that. I think sometimes he would go a little harder.
right,
But I mean, overall, he always kind of led with like how much he cared about the team and how much he wanted to see success and like how much potential he saw in those players, and I know what you're capable of kind of thing.
right,
So I think that was always made known, I would say. But yeah, definitely, more empathy. It wasn't like coach is the enemy kind of thing,
right.
like you see in the Herb Brooks movie. But yeah.
No, it's really smart.
You know, it's fun. It's funny. So we have, we're just talking to our, like, thinking about our audience here, and the fact that, like, it's not normal for a professional athlete to be in like an in-season tournament, right? Our youth programs every weekend's an in-season
Right.
tournament. You know, there's basically
Mhm.
tournaments every weekend, right? So can you just talk a little bit about how the coaching staff actually approached that? And in this very short, condensed period of time, I know we talked a little bit about before you left, right? And the
Yeah.
preparation you did as an athlete. But can you just
Yep.
talk about, like, the how it's really under a microscope, and how you have to make decisions that maybe a coach wouldn't normally make in a longer tournament, about, how do I, how do I determine, well, it's easy to determine who your goaltender is if they don't give up any goals. But, like, how do you determine, who plays and who doesn't, and quickly
Mhm.
pivoting, right?
Mhm.
Because it's not like in the PWHL, you have a longer on ramp to figure out, okay, by the time we get to the playoffs, we're going to be a built machine. But
Mhm.
in the Olympic hockey and tournament hockey, it happens in 9 days. And
Mhm.
I'm just wondering, what your experience was in that, and maybe what coaches can take from that, when they go into their little, mini tournaments.
Yeah, I think in those instances you kind of just have to make decisions based on like gameplay. Like it can't really be based off of like things in the past necessarily, because I think it's really based on that tournament, how that person's feeling in that tournament, and how they've been showing up. I think, but I mean, to be honest, like our team, everyone was playing so well. I don't even think there was that many decisions that had to be made,
Right.
and everyone was kind of executing their role perfectly. So I think once in a while there was a few tweaks here and there in terms of like lines and things like that. But again, I think he would make that decision kind of in the game and who was on maybe and who was maybe not as on, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
and just pairing different people. But I mean, yeah, I think it's game time decisions and kind of just go with your instinct.
Mhm. Haley, I'm kind of curious too about. Oh, wanted to get into your Olympic experience if we could.
Hmm. Hmm.
Haley, so you're in the Olympic Village. What was that like for you? What kind of camaraderie did you feel? Did you get to see other athletic events? I know they were pretty
Hmm.
spread out, so you probably didn't get to see curling. Darn, I would have loved a front row seat to that. But but so did you get to experience that? And was there a feeling of let's go and cheer other competitions, other athletes on, other sports? What was that
Yeah.
like for you?
Yeah, so we there was speed skating, long track and short track, and then there was also figure skating and then the men's and women's hockey teams. So that was the only thing in our village in terms of living there and the only events we could see in person. Every other event was like 5 hours away, like not
Yeah.
close at all. And so there was definitely camaraderie for sure. We had like our Team USA building and we were on the same floor as the speed skaters. I know some of the other girls were on the same floor as the men's hockey team. And then the figure skaters were somewhere else. But again, like we had like gathering spaces, people would like watch events together. And that's one of my favorite parts, obviously, besides the hockey stuff, is going to see other people compete and seeing what they're bringing and cheering on your fellow USA athletes. So I got to see all the other events that we could. Figure skating in person is just next level,
Oh,
I think.
wow.
There's
Yeah.
something so special and like beautiful watching that in person. And speed skating is also just so fast and so exciting. So all of those were great to see. And yeah, it is a camaraderie for sure. And we're all wearing our, USA garb that we get
Yeah.
and seeing what outfits everyone else picks. And
Was there
yeah, it
something
was
that
great to
you
get to know everyone.
Oh my gosh, was there something that you ate that was just really memorable, like a food? What kind of an experience that you took away from there? Like, I gotta go back there and do that again.
I mean, dining hall food was what it was. It's just dining
Ugh.
hall food. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing. It's not like
Wait,
Italian
you were
food, right?
in
Like
Italy.
you're in
Come on.
Italy. I know. I know.
It's all
Um
about the food there.
that's true. That's true. But yeah, we got to go out a little bit, but nothing too crazy because we also were like focusing on the competition
Sure.
for most of the time. So like you might do a small thing here and there, but I didn't go out as much, honestly. And I'm also gluten free, so it was kind of harder. But um yeah, but
Yeah,
it was a
you're
lot of fun.
exposing you're yeah, you're exposing how dumb I am, thinking like that you go when you go to the Olympics, it's like everything's like Lake Placid, like everything's right there. Like it's
No.
like you don't even get you're like I don't even know there was even another event going on. It was like it's
Yeah.
basically in a different country. So I
Yeah.
think it's funny how like I think us as viewers, you're watching, you're thinking, oh well, I'm sure they just took the tram and went and saw the long jump or whatever. Like, but it's just like I think it's funny how as the production goes along,
Mhm.
like I mean maybe to Chris what Chrissy's saying too, like what did you guys do on your
Yeah.
downtime? I mean, was there? I mean, you're stuck in the Olympic Village. It didn't sound like you were going and touring the downtown you know
Y
restaurants
Haley,
and
did
things
you
like
meet
that.
any world renowned musicians slash Olympic broadcasters while you happen to be there? I think that's what Mike might be alluding to a little bit.
You got to see Martha
Uh,
Stewart, right?
I missed Martha, but I did get to meet
Oh,
Snoop like 3 different times, which was
That's
incredible.
funny.
what
He
was he
was so
like?
amazing. He just gave everyone like the warmest hugs and
Oh, I
reception, and
love
he was
that.
just so kind. Like, he's so genuine,
He
having
is.
conversations with everyone he could, taking pictures with everyone, taking videos for people, like, literally anything he was down. He had little Snoop pins, so I have that
Yeah.
somewhere in this apartment right now.
And he's become a big hockey fan, a really big
Massive
hockey
fan,
fan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Yeah,
has. Yes, he
yeah,
has.
yeah,
I think that's
Yeah.
attributed to us for sure. But
yeah.
yeah, that was super cool. And then, we got to like explore a little bit. I went to the, Milan Cathedral and things like
Yeah.
that and explored that downtown area a little bit. I had wanted to see the Olympic cauldron. I didn't end up having time to go do that.
Oh,
But other than that, just spent time with like family and friends and
Well, and
stuff.
I'll say this
interesting.
too,
I
Haley.
was
Like
wondering
we
what
we
it's like,
we got to live through you a bit through your social media, and I want to thank you. Because here's the deal: like when I'm at events like this, I'm pretty focused on what I'm trying to do. There was
Mhm.
no shortage of posts from you about what you were doing and enjoying your time, especially. I think we saw all 3 meetings with Snoop via your Instagram.
Yes.
For those of you who listen, you should go follow Haley. I do want to talk about your personal tournament a little bit, like you. And again, you're always so humble, but I,
Mhm.
I want to ask because we've been talking about your
Okay.
preparation for this. I
Yeah.
love this, right? If I'm not mistaken, you have 1 goal in the PWHL this season. Is that correct? Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so.
Well,
And a few
Oh, wow.
assists.
yeah, you
Yeah.
finished the Olympics with 3 goals in 7 games, so that's pretty amazing. And you had a 2 goal performance in your first game. We talked about this. We've talked on
Yep.
previous shows with you about how the stats don't necessarily define you at this level. I know we're gushing about your 3 goals.
Mhm.
It's pretty wild that you went on the score sheet like that. But when you
Yeah.
evaluate your own performance here, what are you most proud of that
Mhm.
maybe doesn't show up on the score sheet?
Ooh, I will say our PK went
It
100%. I
did
don't think that's getting enough love because the men went 100%. I was like, so
for
did the
the
women.
women.
Let's not forget, women went
Ah,
100% as well.
First, now you
I'll
did
take
it
it.
first.
USA 100% PK. We did do it first. And
Awesome.
that's like my bread and butter. Like, I love the PK. Yeah, very, very happy about that. I think that's pretty cool that we did that. Killed
yeah.
off some big ones in the gold medal game for
Yeah.
sure. Um, and yeah, I would say that's probably what I'm most
Well,
proud of.
it was very obvious too. And you know what's
Yeah.
cool, Haley, is we talked again before the episode about your role on this team would be limited minutes. But
Mhm,
I'll be honest with you,
mhm.
and we watched every game. All right. I
Yeah.
mean, you were noticeable out there, and it felt
Yeah.
like coach was calling you. In fact, we were starting to
Mhm,
understand like when your shifts were going to come, right? Whether it would be like
mm,
in obviously special teams, but also it was kind of like not a relief role, but like there were times where they
mhm.
definitely need that kind of energy defensive
Yep,
shift, right? At least that's what I was picking up on. Can
yep.
you tell us about with coach? Like, did you have a sense of
Mhm,
that? I mean, how did he interact with you in terms of, hey, I need you out there now? Because again, for the listeners, you were listed as the 13th forward, so you could play on any line, which is
mhm.
pretty awesome in itself, right? But
Yeah.
limited time, you made the most of it. You made your impact out there,
Mhm,
right? How did the
mhm.
coach convey that to you? And then you personally, like, again, for the list, especially the kids, like, you got to have the right mindset to play minutes like that, right? Walk us
Yeah,
through that.
yeah. So for me, he's told me that the whole time. Like, he was always telling me I'm the 13th forward, we'll get you in when we get you in. He was always very forthcoming about that. But what I've noticed is he usually ends up putting me in when we need the boost of energy, like you were saying,
Yeah.
when we need like a defensive play to happen to like get the puck out. Maybe we were hemmed in our D zone for a while. Maybe we're not forechecking well. Like, I'm great on the forecheck, and like create opportunities in that way. So I think I usually have an idea of when he's about to say my name with a line. And he's like, come on, let's go, Scams. Like, he doesn't usually have to say much. And for me, I just know, because I knew my time was limited, it's like, hey, whenever I go, just give
Yeah.
100% and just put it all out there. And, afterwards hearing like how much my teammates like appreciate that about me and like feed off of my energy and things like that. I think being reminded of that is also super helpful. And then it also gives you more energy in turn. So that was also a big piece for me.
Well, I want to say this too, and Christy, this is actually going to set up your next question perfectly too. Hayley, again, I was probably a little more hyper focused on watching you when you were out there, just because
Hmm.
we know you, right? But the
Yeah. Yeah.
precision, I'm talking as a coach now, like the
Hmm.
precision in which you played. I actually encourage everybody to go back and watch her shifts if you can, because now here's the thing: like you were disrupting plays. You were never in
Hmm.
any play that I saw a defensive liability. All right, I would
Hmm.
go into plus minus, but since you only let up 2 goals the entire tournament, that doesn't seem like it mattered to anybody at that point.
Wait,
Uh,
that's such a
all
good
right,
point.
but like the other thing I noticed is there was this point patience in your game. All right,
Hmm.
where there didn't seem to be a moment of me watching you or any of us watching you
Hmm.
where there was desperation in your game, right? And
Yeah.
we talked about the younger players where sometimes the moment can get to you. There was
Hmm.
such poise, such precision. And again, you do this in the PWHL every night. It's just
Hmm.
at the Olympic level, everything's on the line. You're getting minutes in the gold medal game. I mean, it was
Hmm.
really a pleasure to watch. I guess I'm paying you a compliment
Thank
a
you.
coach and a
Yeah.
Yes,
fan.
you are.
Yeah, well, it's just like when you see
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that poise is a skill.
Hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
And again, you're not trying to be the hero out there. You're trying to create
Hmm.
energy. You're trying to create plays on the boards. We talked about this, how you play.
Hmm.
And I'm bringing this up too for the listeners because those pieces of a team are essential. I know coaches just go, give me the 22 best players. And it is
Hmm.
never really a good recipe most of the time, right? You have to have
Hmm.
players that can do what Hayley does. And you understand that role. You've built yourself into that role. Look, let's be honest about it. As a 13th forward, that's why you make the team, right?
Yeah.
Because there's talent out
Yep.
there. I mean, there's a lot of talent
For
out there,
sure.
right? So, again, I don't know if there's a
Hmm.
question in there. I'll set Christy up.
No, I
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
mean, I appreciate
Yeah.
that because it's like I've been working on like being more patient with the puck and stuff. So you saying that like means a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's something I had been working on to not like throw the puck away or feel like I can't have it on my stick or I have to give it to someone else. It's like I've really been focusing on like I can manage the puck, I can
Yeah.
have a little more poise and then like dish to a player later.
Well,
Like it opens up more space. So
you're so cognitive out there too. Again, I know I'm gushing a little
mhm.
bit, folks, but like your ability to search out the areas of the ice you're supposed to be in and return to those areas is really a masterclass. I wish more players would watch. Right. And Mike, we talked about this on an episode one time about how a lot of coaches go 100% all the time, 100% all the time.
Mhm.
And kids usually take that as, I got to skate full speed the entire shift. No, it's what Haley's doing, right? It's your mind is on 100%. You're reading the play, you're reacting to
Yep.
the play. I watched you do this against the Sirens the other night too,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
bravo to you. And I'll set Christy up here, right? It almost, Christy, seems like she knew this was going to happen, right? Almost knew like that type of play was going to be
Let's
there.
we got to get into this because I love this topic, and Haley,
Yeah.
I know you're a big believer of this, the power of
Mhm.
manifestation. And I always
Yep.
tell my kids this too. You put it out to the universe.
Mhm.
Put it out to the universe, whatever it is that
Mhm.
you're thinking, feeling, and you want to
Mhm.
happen. So going into these games, what were the words that you put out to the universe to help manifest? I'm going to say you manifested that gold medal that you're wearing. Okay, let's see it.
You have to describe that for it. So for those of you listening at home, this
So
is
this
awesome.
is
Yeah.
this is my whiteboard. It says I am a gold medalist. Nick actually wrote it, and then I would write over it every morning. And it's like in our apartment, so it's like I see it every morning. And then there was also coffee is ready. Like he'll write other little notes on it. Um, but yeah, so I wrote that everywhere, like in journals, on the whiteboard. We have another whiteboard somewhere else. Like it's yeah, it was something that I kind of would always say to myself in my head as well. Anytime I was maybe feeling any other type of way.
That's
So yeah,
confident, right? Yeah.
very into
Yeah.
manifesting for sure. So it was funny that you mentioned that.
Haley, so like just so for we have a teenager listening to this or a
Hmm.
young lady or boy, that's sitting there and going, oh, well, you know, that's great and all, but like, what's the alternative, right? What's the alternative? If you don't do that, what creeps in? Like, what is happens if you don't put that out there, and make yourself believe that?
Um,
Well, it
like in
turns
terms of
negative,
what?
right,
Like,
Mike? Is where you're going. Yeah,
oh,
Like
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what
yeah.
what are you letting in? Like
Yeah.
if you don't deliberately, and you're saying like it's easy to even have somebody tell you, Haley, you're a gold medalist, you're a gold, like
Right.
it's easy for
Yeah.
somebody to say that to you,
Mhm.
but by you writing it down and putting it in a journal and
Mhm.
reminding yourself in different areas of the house, you know, I think it's just one of those things where you're the one driving the
Yeah.
images in your head and the thoughts that
Yeah.
are coming in,
Yeah.
and it has to, at your level or anybody's level, right,
Mhm.
be able to then let the other stuff not creep in.
Yes,
Right.
I think for sure I helped in terms of the whole tournament. Like, I was getting ahead of myself at times because I started visualizing us winning the gold, and I was like, "Okay, we're not at that game yet. Hold on." And then um, but I think it did actually help me in terms of keeping a positive mindset the whole tournament. I think that's why we also stayed so positive throughout that whole game when we're down 1-0. I think, um, obviously parts of me knew that we were going to win that game some way somehow. Um, and yeah, I mean, the whole tournament just kind of felt like that. So I just feel like it was a big manifestation for sure. And it definitely helped me stay
Well,
positive.
and let's say this too. Like, I want to make sure the audience understands. It doesn't say I am going to be a gold medalist.
Mhm.
It says I am a gold medalist. And I think when you're talking about the power of manifestation, it's actually very important for the audience to understand this. And for everybody listening, this is not limited to ice hockey or winning a gold medal. This can be a
Mhm.
power that you have in your life, right? And I will say, yes, the first time you say I am, it is a very awkward, weird feeling because it hasn't happened yet. But I won't go into the quantum physics of all of it for you. When you say I am this, you will become
Mhm.
that. All right.
Yep.
And again, Haley's been writing this months, correct? Like if not longer.
Mhm.
I am a
Yeah,
gold
I think
medalist.
over a year.
Over a
Yeah.
year. And it happened.
Mhm.
All right. And I just think that for those of you listening, especially the kids listening, you're allowed to do this. All right. And I am sure that there are warnings that come from people of, oh, don't jinx it. Oh, don't do this. Oh no, yeah,
Right.
there's too. That's for them. All right. That's not
Yep.
what it was for you. And you have some control over it. As you said, you can't be living it when you're in the middle of, you got to be present with what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Nick run to the house if you lose the gold medal? Does he run to the house and erase all the boards real
No,
quick? Yeah.
I know Nick. There was never a doubt. Listen,
Never.
I've been talking, for those you know, Nick is Haley's boyfriend. Listen, I have spoken to this man for months. There was
Mhm.
never a moment where he would say to me, it's already happened. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this is the power of this. No, we know this has happened. It's happened, like in the
Yep.
past tense. So no,
Yep.
there's no way.
Yeah, awesome.
There's no doubt in his mind. Go ahead, Christy.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to kind of dive into another area about the
Yeah.
impact of the Olympics on women's hockey because
Mhm.
I mean, I'm feeling it. I know, Haley, you feel it. It just
Mhm.
seems that women's hockey is now entering this new era of unprecedented momentum. Now,
Yep.
tell us about that. And, you know, we saw the most watched women's hockey game ever. You smashed all kinds of viewing records.
Mhm.
This is our golden moment. Don't you feel that?
Yes, I definitely feel it. I mean, the amount of messages I've received, the amount of things I've seen from different like celebrities and brands and just like showing their support for us, saying how much they loved watching us play, how much we inspired them. Messages from, parents of young girls and young boys and who are going to get into hockey and just it's just been absolutely incredible and I definitely think it's just the start. We're barely scratching the surface. I think we were saying that earlier. Like I I just know women's hockey is going to continue growing exponentially after this.
Right. I bet you're filling more seats in the stands too. But for those
Yes.
who aren't familiar with the statistics, the 2026 gold medal game between US and Canada was the most watched women's hockey game on record, averaging 5.3 million viewers, peaking at 7.7 in the US. That's incredible.
Hmm.
That's incredible.
Nobody
And I
watches
think
women's
people
sports. I mean, what are we? Sorry, I had to say
I
it.
mean, I think, and I heard this from people who were watching women's hockey for the very first time. I didn't realize how fast it was. I didn't realize
Mhm.
how physical it was. They didn't realize how exciting it was. And you're on that world stage, you got everybody, and you didn't disappoint.
Yeah,
So,
and I think I mean, that's what we hear the most, like, when people come to watch women's hockey for the first time, they get hooked every time. Like, they're always so impressed by the speed and the physicality, like you were saying, and so, it's no surprise, like, now that we have a league for people to come watch us, like, the ticket sales are surging, searches about the league are did I say searching?
Surging.
Surging.
Yeah, yeah. You're good.
Yeah. Um, yeah, like everything has been growing. And I think it's also just so great that we now have this league to play in where everyone can come see us, but they can also see the other amazing players who maybe weren't at the Olympics that easily could have probably been on a team, right? Like everyone's so talented. So I'm just happy it's shining a light on
Yeah,
that for
and
sure.
Haley, I want to let you know. Sorry, Mike. I want to tell Haley this because I know Haley well enough to know she doesn't know what I'm about to say. So, Haley, we talk about every time you take the ice, you're trailblazing. All right. I don't know
Hmm.
if you realize this. This is only in 2026, by the way. All right.
Okay.
You were part of the most attended U.S. game in history up until last night, actually, because the Seattle
I
Torrent took that
know.
record.
Damn Seattle. Uh-huh.
But listen to this, okay? This year alone, you have
Hmm.
you've been taken part in, we'll say, the second most or one of the most watched games in person in history, and also the
Yeah.
most watched women's game in history of the world. There are
Yeah.
very few people now on this list. All right.
Hmm.
And when I think about you as Hayley Scamurra, I'm thinking here, like, I know you, I know what you're driving to do. I just don't think you've taken a moment to realize what
Yeah.
you have been part of this year in terms of women's hockey growing. I want to say it again, you're
Hmm.
one of like six people right now that have played
Yeah.
in both of those situations. Okay. Um, that's unbelievable trailblazing. All right.
Hmm.
And I just want you to know that because again, I know you're humble. I know it's not about individual accomplishments for you, but you are at the
Yeah.
forefront of a massive change time period. And there have been
Hmm.
thousands of women prior to you that have helped push to this moment. But it's like
Yep.
I can you even sense the gravity of this? I mean, I know you say like I'm starting to, but it's like, man, it's like I'm feeling it. I was joking before for those of you
Yeah.
listening. We did a free girls play hockey clinic today. And I told Haley, like, there was only 20 people signed up for it until this gold medal game, and it surged to like 55 plus people with more interest coming in. Like, it's immediate impact. Again, there's
Mhm.
no question to what I'm saying today. I'm going all over the place. I wanted you to know that you were part of that and that you're trailblazing and that I know you're probably recognizing some of this stuff is happening, but the
Yeah.
reverberations of this tournament are going to be felt for
Mhm.
generations.
Thanks. Yeah, that's, pretty incredible to hear, and just knowing, like, we're all a part of history in that sense is, uh yeah, there's no words, so
Yeah.
No, I'm just like I think what really as you discuss this like growth
Mhm.
quickly, and we all know like any Olympic year, and for hockey in general, I mean for the men's and women's hockey team to do this well, hockey is really in front of everyone right now, and I think
Mhm.
where the women's game is and what the professional game is doing, it certainly is now elevated, and it's elevating quickly. And
Mhm.
do you feel from a professional athlete point of view? I mean, do you feel the pressure of that? I mean, do you feel like, okay, well, now all of a sudden, like people are watching us more, and it
Mhm.
is like we probably have. I mean, to Lee's numbers, I mean, you just had probably 5 million new people watch something they maybe never had watched before, and
Mhm.
now I don't know, I would take it as it's a good pressure for an
Mhm.
athlete in the league, but
Mhm.
what does that feel like from your perspective, and is the messaging being given to you as a professional athlete by agents and promoters and league officials, has that
Mhm.
changed, or is that evolving in any way now?
I would say no pressure. I feel more excited than anything that people are coming to see what we're all about. Definitely more opportunities in terms of like interviews and endorsements potentially and like brands and all of that stuff just cuz like obviously we're the topic of conversation and it's like a hot thing right now and obviously hoping to continue to stay in the eyes of everyone watching and things like that, but yeah, so no pressure I would say. I think just pure excitement and joy.
So Yeah, and so no, okay, so if there's no pressure, what do you
Mhm.
think then are the new challenges then in this like landscape? Like now, because there are now, because really like that you just talked about in the last couple of days, right? I mean, all of a
Mhm.
sudden you went from saying, "Oh, I got a normal schedule and I can handle this," to to all of a sudden I'm like getting calls at all hours and people wanting my time and people
Yeah.
wanting to reach out to hear about all your
Thank
athletes,
you
right? I
again
mean, I
for
feel
coming on
bad. I'm
today,
sure.
Haley.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
all these people annoying you for screen time, and
and
you know, it's just so I'm just thinking like, what now? Because of that, it's like you
yeah.
said, maybe you don't feel pressure, but there
Mhm.
definitely is a new challenge now for the women's sport to capture
Mhm.
this moment and do something with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that sense, it's probably just like the time and the energy it does take being on a larger scale, in terms of media appearances and people kind of pulling you in different directions, messaging you, asking you for certain things that you're like, I don't even know you. We've never met before. Like, so it's like setting
Yeah.
those boundaries, I think, is huge. Because I think a lot of people think they can just access us because we're women and we should just be grateful we're in this position. It's like, no, I'm a professional athlete. Like, I cannot come to your city in the middle of my season. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't
you,
come to your daughter's birthday party next
you
weekend. I'm sorry,
no,
it's just gonna be very difficult.
quite literally the things we get asked is wild. And I think we're so used to being like, yes, of course, like I'll be there right away. You know, like the people pleasing thing, the oh, we got to be great role models and we got to be there for all these moments. It's like we can't. Like now, we have more eyes on us, more responsibilities, more things to do. And it's like we just don't have that kind of time. And like you're not asking NHL players to do these things in the middle of their season, right? So it's like remembering that that's the stage we're on now and to be able to set those boundaries and is super
You know,
important.
Haley,
Yeah,
And
I just tell them you can talk to your Canadian and Swedish teammates if they have the
yeah.
answers. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't you
but
can cut that
Toronto
out,
is our
Caitlin. I'm just
second
joking.
biggest audience. Let's not make them
I'm
upset
We're
just
gonna
right
have to do
now.
some editing
Yeah.
here.
I'm just
We have to do
joking.
some
Yeah.
Relax,
editing.
everybody,
Toronto, we love
relax.
you.
But
Don't
Haley,
listen.
I think you would agree that women's hockey is in a much better place. And then you look
Mhm.
at the up and coming talent. I mean,
Mhm.
wow. Talk about Abby Murphy. I mean, how exciting is it to see these young women with such
We've had
incredible
several of them on
speed,
the
so fun
show.
to watch.
Yeah,
They're so fun to watch. They're so
Yeah.
creative. They're so like just free and fun out there. Like you can't take your eyes off them. I mean, Caroline Harvey, Layla Edwards, Abby Murphy, Tessa, the list
Haley
goes on
Wynn.
and on.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
yeah, Haley Wynn, yes, of course. Like they're just so fun to watch. They're so dynamic. And they keep the energy light and fun, to be honest. Like if it were all just veteran experienced players, we wouldn't be having as much fun as we were. So yeah, they kept things light and yeah, just always fun to
Well,
watch.
I'll tell you, Haley. I hope we can have Haley Wynn back on. You know, it's in the off season, right? Because what I remember
Yeah.
is I was actually
Yeah.
watching some of that episode recently because we were putting together a clip to
Hmm.
congratulate you. And it's funny
Yeah.
how kind of almost innocent she seems at that point of like,
Yeah.
I made the Olympic team. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Like it
Oh
wasn't real
no.
right,
yet.
right.
Yeah.
Now, you know, she's a
Yep.
gold medalist. Same thing with Heisey and
Hmm.
everybody else. You know, one
Yeah.
of the things I wanted to say to you too, you know, we were talking a little bit about the new challenges that this presents. And I
Hmm.
wanted to say this too. When you won, as someone who coaches in girls and women's hockey, and I hope the
Hmm.
coaches listening hear this. What was cool was that I'm trying to find the right words here. I felt a responsibility as a coach and an ambassador of the game
Hmm.
almost immediately of I have to help cultivate the new people that are about to come into our game. And I'm excited
Hmm.
about that too. But you had mentioned about how people are asking you for things. We should not be asking the Olympian professional athlete for things. You have a responsibility now as a hockey
Yeah.
person, for those of you listening, to cultivate all of the new players coming in, girls and boys. And
Hmm.
again, we won't know this for a while. We saw what the 1980 gold medal did for hockey in the United States, okay? The
Hmm.
1998, the 2018, and the 2026 gold medals are doing this for the game as well. There's about to be a massive, massive
Yeah.
influx of people into this game. And if you are
Hmm.
involved in this game in any way, we share this is from Haley to Mike to Christy to me. We share a responsibility now to cultivate what the best
Hmm.
thing is about hockey. And Haley, again, I'm sharing that with you because I don't know if I even thought about that like prior
Hmm.
to the goal going in the net. And it's like, and
Yeah.
again, I felt it today at this clinic of like, we have so much. There's a girl there in a USA jersey today, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sitting there telling her like, I'm speaking to one of them today, and she was so excited. You know, so I just want to. It's again, I'm not doing any good on the questions today, but just it's a statement today to everybody. Like we're about to receive a gift as in hockey here, and that
Mhm.
probably hundreds of thousands of people over the next few years are going to dive into this game, and we owe it to them to not be the crazy hockey parents and to not let some of these crazy things go, and to escort them into the greatest game in the world. Right. So Hayley, I'm going to actually say thank you for that opportunity, right? Because all of you provided us with that opportunity. And then all of us, let's get to work on this, right? Let's get to work on this and do a good job for all of these players, right?
Right. And Hayley, I hope that we can grow girls hockey really, because, you know, my daughter played girls hockey. We're in Central New York. You're in Western New York, and I'm sure you had a very similar experience to her. You want to play girls hockey. There are so few teams. There's a lot of traveling. I mean, we had some girls who were all the way in Ithaca coming up to Syracuse every night just to be on a girls team. It's really a struggle because we're so limited in the resources. Were so tight for girls hockey. Hopefully, this can start creating more girls teams, more opportunities, more competition, and less stress on our girls who want to play. That's what my heart wants.
I
Because
know it
I'm
will.
sure you went through the same thing.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to ask this final question, Hayley. It's again, I thank you for being so gracious with your time today. You've won a silver medal in the Olympics.
Yep.
You've won a gold medal in the Olympics. I know everyone is asking you about how it feels and all these things. I want to ask it a little differently. When you hold that in your hand, and I'm sure you are, right? What does that represent? Right? Like again, the feeling of elations, of course, right? You've been talking about this your whole life since you were a little girl. What does this represent for you right now in this moment?
It just represents like my life, like everything I've done to get to this point, like um playing hockey on my backyard rink with my brothers and my dad, and um you know how much time I dedicated to hockey. I missed so many things growing up, like in high school and middle school, like social events. Like I remember feeling maybe like lonely at times or not, connected with people. And then obviously as you get up the ranks, you kind of build more of those friendships and things like that. And um it was all definitely worth it for this gold medal. Absolutely. I would do it all over again. And yeah, I just think of all the things my parents have done for me, all the things my brothers have done for me, my teammates, everything that has led to this moment. And yeah, all worth it.
I'm getting like my back and neck standing up thinking.
Yeah.
I know. I just kept thinking about your parents in that phone call, that first
Yeah.
phone call that you had, that first
Yeah.
conversation you had with them as a gold medalist. Oh my gosh, I'm going to start crying just thinking about it.
Well,
that must have been amazing.
Again, I think I'm speaking for a whole audience here when I say to you and all of Team USA, thank you. Thank you for that moment. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all the time you give. And, again, look, you're a professional hockey player. You're a gold medalist, Olympic hockey player. You're also just a great person and great ambassador for the game. And I do think that in the 500 plus episodes that we've done, we have uncovered that that's a pretty big key to being successful is the character that you hold. And we're just so humbled that you're on here with us. You're part of our team, and that we got to be you answered our text when we texted you. So we appreciate it.
Yes. Always.
All right. Gang, anything else before I close this out?
Hail to Hayley.
That's going to be on the side soon.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. It was great to chat about it. It's fun to relive it.
Oh, well, we're going to keep going. So, Mike, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
No. Just going to say congratulations, and hopefully, you'll get some much needed rest after you get through the rest of your professional season this year.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to say this again. We're going to let Hayley get some much needed time off to kind of rest and recoup, but she's going to come back for more Our Girls Play Hockey. We are planning to do, again, kids, we're going to ask you for any questions that you might have, because we want you to be able to have a voice with Hayley here about her Olympic win in her career. And we will keep reliving this, Hayley, as long as we can. I just want you to feel this feeling for as long as humanly possible. So.
Yeah. Thanks.
No problem. That's going to do it for this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey and Our Girls Play Hockey, the crossover event of the decade. Nobody says that but me. Remember, if you have any questions or you have an episode idea, team at ourkidsplayhockey.com or use the link accompanying the episode in the description. But for Hayley Scamurra, Mike Bonelli, and Christy Casher-Burns, I'm Lee Elias. You've enjoyed this gold medal edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. Take care, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. Make sure to like and subscribe right now if you found value wherever you're listening, whether it's a podcast network, a social media network, or our website, ourkidsplayhockey.com. Also, make sure to check out our children's book, When Hockey Stops, at whenhockeystops.com. It's a book that helps children deal with adversity in the game and in life. We're very proud of it. But thanks so much for listening to this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey, and we'll see you on the next episode.